Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Miss Nancy here at the Edmonton Garrison Military Family Resource Center with a very special video to share with you today in honor of a very special person in our lives, our mothers. First, I have a very fun story to share with all of you called The Night Before Mother's Day. And immediately following that, I have a step-by-step instruction on how to make my mother's secret and very crazy chocolate cake recipe. So please stay tuned for that. What better way to celebrate an occasion like Mother's Day than with a special cake that's made with love? Trust me when I say this is a super easy recipe to follow, so get your kids involved and have some fun with it. Believe me, everyone will enjoy devouring the results afterwards. On behalf of the staff here at the Edmonton Garrison Military Family Resource Center, I would like to extend our heartfelt thank yous to all the moms in our communities. Whether this is your first Mother's Day or your 40th, please remember that you are appreciated, that you are cared for, and you are loved beyond measure. Thank you for all you do, and have a wonderful Mother's Day.
The Night Before Mother's Day, written by Natasha Wing, illustrated by Amy Woomer. The night before Mother's Day, when as quiet as a mouse, Dad told us his plan to get Mom out of the house. Her sneakers were set by the doorway with care, in hopes that her running pals soon would be there. Then out in the yard there arose quite a crowd. "Come on, let's go, girl," her friends shouted real loud. So Mum in her sweatsuit and red baseball cap plugged in her earphones and jogged off in a snap. Away to the kitchen we flew like a flash, as if we were running a 100-yard dash. We measured and mixed a delicious cake batter, then blended the frosting. Oops, way too much splatter. We made fancy cards adding our I love yous and a special coupon that Mum sure could use. When Mum came home, she saw the mess in the sink. "What did I miss?" she asked. "Nothing," Dad said with a wink. We children then nestled all snug in our beds while visions of Mum danced in our heads. The next morning we presented a giant bouquet. "It's for you, Mum," we cried. "Happy Mother's Day!" She read both of our cards and after wiping her eyes said, "A private spa session? What a lovely surprise!" We took Mum to the kitchen where our spa was set up. Dad served her black coffee in an extra large cup. We rubbed her shoulders, we massaged her feet. Mum sighed and smiled. "You kids are so sweet." I wrapped a towel turban to cover her hair. Then we dabbed on a mud mask, no mess anywhere. I painted her nails. What glittery fun! A top coat of polish? Voila, manicure done. Dad said, "The chef will be serving a divine gourmet brunch." That's a meal that comes between breakfast and lunch. So Mum hurried off to go and get dressed. We took seats at the table, behaving our best. When what to our wondering eyes should appear but the perfect model for Mother of the Year. Her eyes, how they sparkled, her brown hair, how curly, her cheeks were like roses, her skirt very twirly. We raised our juice glasses and offered a toast to the world's greatest mom, and that's not a boast. Mum thanked us for everything. It brought her such cheer. She wished it could be Mother's Day every day of the year.
Ingredients you'll need to make the crazy chocolate cake recipe are 1 egg, a half a cup of butter, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of white sugar, a half a cup of cocoa, 1.5 cups of flour, a half a cup of sour milk. And how you make sour milk is to add 1 teaspoon of vinegar to the half a cup of milk, give it a quick stir and let it sit for 5 minutes, and that'll give you sour milk. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and a half a cup of boiling water. Now you're gonna dump all these ingredients in the order I just gave you, starting with the egg and ending with the boiling water. And you're gonna put that into your bowl and you're gonna mix well. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so first we're gonna add the egg into the bowl. All right. So like I said, don't do any mixing until you've got all the ingredients into the bowl. You don't need to do anything. So we're just dumping everything in. So there's a half cup of butter. And we've got the teaspoon of baking soda and the teaspoon of baking powder. A cup of sugar. A half a cup of cocoa. 1.5 cups of flour. And now the sour milk. Remember that was 1 teaspoon of vinegar to a half cup of milk. Stir it and we let it sit for about 5 minutes. So it's gonna make the cake extra delicious. And a teaspoon of vanilla I'll put in. And I set my oven for 375. And the cake is going to cook for about between 30 and 40 minutes, depending on your oven. So I hear my oven is ready to go. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we need half a cup of boiling water. Alright, so now that all my ingredients are added, I'm going to mix it all together and put it on my Mix Master, and I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to mix it well until it's all smooth, and that should take about 4 minutes. Okay, we've all got that all mixed up, and you can see how nice and creamy and chocolatey that looks. Delicious. I think moms are really gonna love this. All right, so we're gonna scrape all this off and into our 8x8 pan. If you wanted to make a bigger cake, go ahead and you can absolutely do that. Just maybe double the recipe for it, which would be really easy to do. Same technique, you're just gonna double everything and dump it and mix once you've got all the ingredients together. Okay, so now we're gonna put this into the pan and it will be ready for the oven. So make sure you have a greased 8x8 pan. And we'll just dump all that in like that. It smells absolutely wonderful. Very chocolatey. All right, we'll just smooth that around like so. And we don't want to waste any of this chocolate. So I'll just scrape as much as I can back into the pan. All right, and into the oven it will go. So like I said, 375 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. And make sure you get help. If you're doing this with mom or dad, make sure you get help with this part. Just a few more minutes. It's almost done. My house smells so good right now. Once the cake is finished cooking, let it rest for a while to cool. To make this a layered cake, cut the cake in half lengthwise and choose a filling for the center. I chose a can of cherry pie filling for my center, and I spread half the can of the filling over one half of the cake. But you can choose anything that you think Mom might like. It could be icing, buttercream, fruit, or even jam. Get creative. To complete this showstopper for Mom, sandwich the 2 layers together and top with any type of icing. I chose to make a chocolate whipped cream icing to make my cake extra decadent. I will link the recipe to both the cake and the icing below. This crazy chocolate cake recipe is a mouth-watering cake sure to put a smile on your mom's face.